All right.
Who's got the intro? Oh, I got it.
You're just intros.
Well, I mean, I just fucking know what I'm going to say. I don't know. On today's Men of the Apes, we might have a guest co-host of Nala joining us. I'm not sure. It's just if she has something to say or not.
Bark, Nala, bark.
Woo, woo, woo.
No.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, well.
Nala. Woof.
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. Living with the divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human. And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then oh please God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello, and welcome to Men of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd, and I'm going to pull back the curtain and say that occasionally when these two go off on their musings, what I have to do is I take a breath, and I don't listen to anything else they say because I'll start laughing. And even at the end, Richard started being a little bit funny. I was like, okay, I've got to keep this ship going.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not going to look at him because that will ensue laughter. But
Crunch.
Richard's worried about his eyes, and Sean takes his... How do you say that? Is chelada?
Chelada. Yeah.
Chelada.
It's a Modelo
It's like a
chelada.
michelada.
It is a mix of a Bloody
beer.
Mary and a beer.
Yeah, basically. It's a michelada.
It tasted good to me. I'd never tried one. Anyway, here we are. It's
Happy
the end of
Friday,
the week.
right?
Hey.
Yes.
Did you just flip me off?
I did. I kind of went like that. I was like,
hey guys, look at my fingers. Spirit fingers.
by the way, right
Here's
there
the
to
middle
you.
one.
I've never liked you.
Well, I know.
That's not
What
true,
was that?
but I don't know. I was doing
Jazz
this.
hands.
I was doing this, and all of a sudden the one went. I even did it. I thought, oops.
Wow.
Apes.
Oh, happy Friday, everybody.
Did I
It's
really kind of
Fuck Off
subliminally
Friday.
want to flip you off,
I
maybe?
don't know. Maybe there's some aggression going on right now.
Did you piss me off earlier and I forgot?
I don't know. You want to make out? I mean, that's usually...
I don't know. Sean was wanting ape makeout and
Hey,
human makeout. Who's the ape and who's the human
Being
in this?
pissed off is better than being pissed on. Just remember that.
And that is the end of this episode. That is
Hey,
such
good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right, minute 15. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we start minute 15 with Armando saying, no, 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 and ends with Armando giving Milo directions to the harbor.
All right, let's take a minute. Let's take a minute. Let's take a listen to this minute of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
No. Oh, no, please. No, that's the first place they look. Here's what we'll do. I'll go to the police. Oh, no. It's the only way. I'll say that I couldn't find you. That you've run away before, that big cities frighten you.
Oh, but Amanda, where would I go?
Oh, you wait right here. If this works, I'll be back by nightfall.
But what if it doesn't?
Oh.
They don't let you go.
They will. But just in case, if I am not back by then. Now, these steps go down to a tunnel that leads to the harbor.
As of minute 15, we have a courtyard's worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, at least, and orangutans. You got Milo/Caesar and a planet's worth of humans.
All right, so going back to yesterday, this scene especially, as we move to the stairwell, is the one that I need to hear boots moving outside.
Right.
I need to hear the voice of authority pressing down on them, because in this entire minute, what you heard is we get a moment between father and son, caring, understanding how harsh the world is, and eventually laying out a plan for escape. There's no need for escape in the scene as it's set up now. We said that yesterday. There's nothing that says, in fact, if you go down the tunnel, the harbor,
Nala.
couldn't both of them go there?
Yeah.
Couldn't they right at this moment? Let's go. Why does Armando feel like he
Feel
needs
the
to go
need
back?
to go back to the police to explain.
Because we've not yet said anything about, hey, they'll come look for you in the circus and all that kind of thing. There's nothing
Right.
that says that.
Right. It is. Now, this minute is interesting because it is just kind of the one shot between Armando and Caesar, and it is dialogue, and we haven't had just one of those full minutes of dialogue.
And
two
it's a nice
characters
scene.
interacting. Yeah, and it's shot with the light coming in from the parking structure.
Right.
So it's
Very
kind of
dark.
very dark. Very loving, very
Angularly
emotional.
shot up.
Caesar is extremely emotional, and
Right.
he almost makes me want to like cry.
I agree.
He's bringing me to tears, but there's no impending threat. There's no sense that these officers even remember that the scene had happened and the thing. There's no reason to believe that Armando needs to go do this thing.
And there's no.
I get what they're
I do too.
doing
Totally.
But if I were in the theater, I'm like, Armando, don't do it. Just leave. Don't even circus in the city. Just get you and Caesar out of the city and go circus in a different city.
It should be there's our co-host. It should be that Caesar says something like, "Let's just go together. Let's go." And to that point, we can move to another city. And then Armando says, "But they would look for us no matter where we went. They know who we are. They would come to find us.
Or
I
Armando
have to
goes,
go confront that."
Caesar, how can we hide? We've given them our location. And he holds up the flyer
Yes,
that says,
could be that
you know,
too.
everything is just...
Right, the fly would have been good evidence,
Yep.
that we can be discovered, we can
Yeah.
be found. So it's heartbreaking. He says, "You stay right here. If this works, I'll be back by nightfall." And then he gives them kind of the warning, like, "Suppose they don't let you go. They will. But just in case I'm not back,
Oh, poor, sweet, naive Armando.
these steps go down to a tunnel that leads to the harbor." And we kind
why
of
would he
end
know
right
that?
around there.
So,
Has he been running a underground railroad for Apes? Is that why? I mean that in all sincerity. Why would he know that?
Well,
they don't live in the city, and
it's the same coincidence that Dixon had where he was able to give Zira and Cornelius directions to some harbor because he grew up there and everything. He just happens to know where to send them. Well, Armando just happens to know where to send Milo
yeah.
because of plot.
I guess what we forgot to mention is they're kind of at the top of the parking structure, and Armando leads Caesar to a stairwell
yeah.
where they actually have kind of that intimate moment where they sit on the steps. They're now out of the city lights. It would have been nice, to your point, to have something to make them want to move, and there was nothing that made me think that they needed to move to the stairwell. But I mean, Armando has his arms around Caesar as Caesar kind of looks to the camera and sobs, and it is powerful.
It is. It would have been even 10
If
times
we-
more so if there was the threat.
If we had the threat of doom, otherwise it's just they're in a stairwell parking garage and
Having a
he's calming
nice
his
moment.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's calming his son, and Caesar's kind of just sobbing through this whole thing, and it's breaking my heart.
That scene works.
He did do good scared acting. Yeah.
That scene works with the father calming the son if together they were going to go back out and confront the scene together. They've needed a moment to pull themselves away, and they're going to go do it. But when you're creating the idea that one of you has to go into hiding, you have to have a threat. You have to have a reason that says, why are you doing it? Because as it is right now, how many times do we say as we watch this 1 minute at a time? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense why they're doing this.
But
it's great.
Exactly. The
But-
two actors sell the shit out of it.
Oh my God.
I
Both
wanna
those men.
cry.
Uh-huh.
I don't let him go. Don't leave him.
So literally last night, when I was making my notes, I'm sitting in the media room, and my wife walks in, and she went, "Oh, you love this movie, don't you?" And I was like, "I do." And I said, "Here's the thing, I love this scene, and it's wrong." And she's like, "What?" And I said, "That's one of the things I hate about doing this 1 minute at a time is that I will never ever again just have the gloss it over, because now I look at it and go, shit, should have this and this." And I'll do that some anyway, but I literally said to her, I was like, I'm a little heartbroken by this right now. It could have been so much more. It also says something of these movies that they could have been so much more, and they're still pretty damn good. They do a good job. I think Thompson's staging of the scene, what I love with him so far as a director is I think these performances are perhaps some of the better performances we've seen so far. He's truly getting it. And you go back and watch his version, the original version of Cape Fear, that is some great fucking acting. He knows how to work with actors, but what I don't know if it was because it's not on the page for the threat and they just didn't think to add in. And that is even something you could add in just in an audio placement. You wouldn't have to see it. I don't know why they didn't think of that.
It's a very emotional scene. It's a very powerful scene, and the Armando starting the beginning of the goodbye is heartbreaking, but it needs what you said. It needs that moment of impending threat, because otherwise they're just faces in a crowd.
Yeah.
Sean's point, holding the flyer would have been something to kind of witness they know who we are.
Yeah.
Would even just have been enough of a tipping point to make me go, oh shit,
we
probably
can't
should
go back to the church. Yeah.
And I even think that Armando at that point, they know who we are. They could find us. And he's like, what will you do? And he could say, I'm going to go back. And I'm going to tell him you ran away. We could hear him. He could tell us that. And we know it's his plan. He's already done it. Instead of eventually when that kind of is sort of revealed,
right,
they could have hatched this plan together. And it would even make that a stronger thing. We now know emphatically how much he's protecting. They've laid out this plan. He's sacrificing himself for it. It's just a humongous missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Still a powerful scene, though.
It is. And it's, this is a short thing to dissect because there's not a lot that happens. It's just it's missing that one element.
Yeah.
Fair?
Agreed.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Thank you, Sean.
I'll allow it.
All right. That's Friday. That's minute 15. There are a ton of social media ways you can find us out there. As I said before, we're getting a ton of people really started joining that Facebook group. I'm going to actually, I hadn't told you guys this. Right now it's just a Facebook page. I'm going to probably convert it to a Facebook group to where we can interact more, and I'm going to give both of you little bit of assignments. Hey, Richard, if you have 10 minutes this week, could you go ping something out, even if it's showing Zeus or something like that, just so we interact. I feel bad people coming there and we're not giving them a lot. So you guys like that idea?
All right,
sure.
So we'll do that. But if you're out there, again, we appreciate you passing it on to your friends, what we're doing. Let them know about social media stuff. You can find all of our links there, whatever you want to do. We just like having you guys on for the ride. So there you go. Anyway, everyone have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
The minute of the apes. The minute